So welcome back, everybody. This is Paul again, making another in my series about consciousness and knowing things and how to perceive. And in the first segment I was talking about how our awareness is non-local. We actually have a consciousness within us which is a great mystery, and that's been addressed by many people and teachings in the past. And in our modern era we need to take advantage of some of those teachings and try to understand what is this mystery of consciousness? Because if we can enhance our own awareness and expand our consciousness, basically become more aware of whatever existence is, then we're going to have an incredible experience in this life. And I want to expound a little bit more about how to enable ourselves to perceive. And one of the things that is an ancient technique is to ask ourselves, who is really perceiving? Because if there are various kinds of obstructions to the way that we perceive, on the very simple level we have the ears, the eyes, how the condition that they may be in, but the ears and the eyes are really only a tool of the consciousness, the same way that my hand by itself is a tool. However, I can use this tool to use any number of different kinds of tools to accomplish something. And our awareness is a tool. It's a many fingered tool. It's a has many root hairs, you might say, out into the cosmos. Like if you try to imagine a room full of mist, and the mist represents all the atoms, the tiny little particles and the infinite spaces between them of everything moving around. And in there, let's say there's an electrical charge. Electrical charge, our brain, something is communicating between all those particles and into that space. And the space is actually the root of consciousness. Space is, if there's a nothing, the thing about which nothing can be said is the infinite space that inhabits, that is basically the groundwork, the soil by which everything else can grow. In a soil there's all kinds of microorganisms and all kinds of chemicals and things in the soil. And then large, huge plants can grow, and some of them grow like mushrooms and banyan trees. They just spread out for enormous amount. And our awareness can extend out into the space, the vast space awareness that's within us. And when we find that our physical senses are subdued or shut down temporarily, we still find that we are aware. And that's, a lot of people don't realize how simple this really is, because people go and try to look for some kinds of techniques when some of the techniques that really work are just letting go. In other words, just asking the question, turning the attention within, saying just having the awareness that our perception has capacities that are bigger. Just accepting that and taking it in, and then saying, oh, well, how can I explore the reality of that? And it's a lifetime process, but it never gets started if we're not trying. I mean, when you have little children, they're so curious. Even animal babies are curious. They want to know immediately what's around them, what's going on. But for some reason, sometimes human beings get to this place where they're just like, they're not even curious anymore about anything. And they don't want to know how much more they can perceive. I mean, if you like life, if you enjoy life, then by enhancing our consciousness, expanding our awareness, basically just accepting that inner awareness that we are, that non-local awareness, our experience of life is going to be much more incredible. And it's really quite simple. It's like getting in the elevator. You either get in the elevator or don't get in the elevator. But if you get in the elevator and you stand there, you just do a couple little things, and the next thing you know, you're going in a different place. And the simplicity of expanding our awareness is very much overlooked. And it is one of the great mysteries that scientists don't even want to touch. What is the mystery of consciousness? The hard problem. It's so difficult because you can't rationalize it. You can't figure it out. Because they can't grasp the concept that consciousness isn't something artificial. Consciousness is found within the atoms. Maybe it's a kind of consciousness that we're not conscious of right now. But you know an ant. I was watching some ants today, and they're busy. They're doing stuff. And they got a plan. And they're very conscious in their little world. And they don't care about anything else. They just, whatever their little world is. And that's kind of how we are. We're basically just giant ants. And we can actually expand by, again, being simple. Part of it is just being quiet, letting the mind, the thoughts, the curious, chattering mind, just to let it come down, just like water reaches an equilibrium. If we just don't bother it, it'll just kind of get to a place of reflection. And the second part is to really analyze, learn how to connect dots, because many times in all around the world societies, they bring up their children, they say, okay, well, this is how it works. These are the dots that we want you to connect. This is how it is. This is the picture that you got to see. But then as you grow older, you realize, wait a minute here, there's a lot of dots that are not in that picture. They just drew a certain arbitrary line. That's what it looks like. Just like country borders. Well, okay, this is our country. We define it this way. But then over history, well, excuse me, but now, you know, it's bigger or smaller. There used to be some pretty big empires out there. Now they're little islands. And the same way with our own perception, we have to understand that the picture of existence is much, much, much bigger and more beautiful than the concepts that we're taught. Because unless you're taught by great sages, and even then they learn. There's no end to awareness. So even the great sages of the past, they say, look, just keep expounding on this infinite knowledge. Keep learning and pass it down. Teach. Then we can benefit from people who learned certain things a long time ago, and they say, look, I know that you don't study these things. Maybe it's not a subject that but if you pay attention to this, here's a very interesting subject that might change your life. And I'm going to try to encourage people to really just expand their awareness, because you don't have to accept everything we're taught. People accept the most incredible things just by hearing it. If they hear it on the news, they hear like a few little sound bites and blah, 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 and they just believe it's okay. Now they fixate on something. You can't fixate on one little part of this this life and expect to have an amazing life. You got to turn off those TVs and open your awareness to things that are just completely mind-blowing. The reality of this existence. Just we know, just by intellectually we know that there's, most of my hand is space. Most of everything we see, we don't even see most of what exists. There's just unbelievable things going on to keep us alive and going on, and healing and all that stuff 24/7. It's just unbelievable. So to take this life for granted is a really a sad thing. And you know, I'm not here to try to tell people this is how you should believe. I'm saying I've investigated some strange things, and wow, life is amazing. But you know, I can't prove anything unless you have your own awareness. So we are able to perceive anything that has been perceived by any great teacher or past, present, future, saying, look, you can perceive this, but you have to make the effort to perceive it. It's not just accept it because I said so or a book or whatever. Try to use your own perception and get a little bit wider in your view of things. And you know, I explore a lot of really strange subjects in my videos here, and my understanding of lots of things is growing. But I tell you, this life that we're living in is just pretty damn amazing. And again, I encourage people to just explore their whole life and be curious and read and listen to interviews, because there's some amazing people out there doing amazing things all over the world. And our awareness of the gift of this existence can be so incredibly great that it'll just blow our minds and open our hearts. So again, thanks for watching, and I will make a lot more videos here. Hey, you know, it's not we're going to be in a crisis. We are in a crisis. I mean, it has nothing to do with 2012 or anything. It's just that, look, stuff's going on, and it pays to pay attention and be very aware and be healthy and have allies and take care of your personal resources. But, you know, if something's bad now and a drastic change happens, maybe it'll be a lot better. But, you know, you got to go through the swamps to get to the fields, and sometimes that's the way it is. And it seems like there's just a lot of swamps out there these days, and you just got to be careful where you step and who you're traveling with. So, again, thanks for watching, and I appreciate all the feedback, and good luck in your research, and follow your curiosity.